Hey everybody, what is going on? Hexlex here. Got another physical video here for you. It's weird, I don't know what to call these. I guess most people just call them regular videos, but I'm just used to doing screen capture stuff all the time. So, I know I said before that I was going to be doing Alestral stuff, but I just so happened to... Okay, a little bit of a story time. So, a few days ago on Twitter, I saw good friend Shiggies, who... I'll throw her Twitter, I guess, profile on screen right now, so that'll be on here, and then I'll also link in the description below. She was talking about picking up this League Battle Deck and going to a Pokemon Regional. I saw people in the comments saying in her thread that this was a good kind of entry point for the Pokemon card game, and I've actually played the Pokemon card game in person before, and it's something I've kind of thought about doing again. So I don't know if I'm going to fully commit to playing Pokemon the same way that I am to Alestrals right now, but while I was at my local game store, I was trading in some old Magic cards I have to get some storage for all my Alestrals cards. I actually ended up with a lot more store credit than I intended to, so I decided to pick this up. It was 30 bucks, and I decided I'd do just a little for fun opening of it here for y'all. So yeah, let's go ahead and just start diving into it. I guess we can look at the back here first. It does tell you everything that's in here. I don't know how easy it'll be to tell on my camera. I know the focus isn't so great. It is something I want to hopefully fix in the near future. But it says in this box you'll find ready to play 60 card deck, damage counter die, coin flip die, coin condition markers, deck box, accessory box, strategy sheet, code card to play this deck online. So that's something really cool that the Pokemon TCG does, is that whenever you buy a product, whether it's a pack or a tin or a starter deck, you get a code online for literally the equivalent of that product. So it's not like this code is going to be for like some random packs. Like, I will have this deck in Pokemon Online as well. So you may actually start seeing some gameplay videos of that as well. As far as the deck itself goes, so I've played Pokemon TCG before, like I know how to play this game, but I haven't researched like the meta or anything at all. I don't really know what this deck does, I don't really know what any of these cards do, so I'll kind of just read them as I go. And yeah, I say let's just go ahead and start getting into it. Just gonna kind of tear into this box here. I'm not really too concerned about keeping it. Hopefully don't mess up my nail polish too much though. Alright. Ooh, okay, so let's throw that aside. Oh, are these the... Oh, that's cool. Usually in these kind of products, like in Pokemon products, you get like cardboard paper cutout, you know, little tokens, but... So this is for like burn and this is for poison. That's cool. They're like plastic. That's neat. At least when... So, like I said, I have played the Pokemon TCG in the past, but that was like literally a decade ago. It was in like 2014. I played Ray Eels, for anyone who knows what that deck is. Okay, Gardevoir EX League Battle Deck. Welcome to League Battle Decks. This deck features great combos, strategic options. The strategy, I'm just going to kind of skim through this. I'm sure you can't read this on the camera there. Strength of Gardevoir comes to the overwhelming your opponents with extra resources in the form of attaching extra energy and drawing extra cards until they cannot keep up. Here's some tips to help you make the use of everything in the Gardevoir EX League Battle Deck. Gardevoir EX is the namesake of this League Battle Deck, provides you the ability that is its backbone, Psychic Embrace. Touching extra energy is proven time and time again to be a top tier strategy. In the Pokemon TCG, this time is no different, whether you're recovering energy that got discarded with Ultra Ball, or using Psychic Embrace to rebuild after one of your Pokemon's locked out, you'll be relying on this powerful acceleration ability every step of the game. Remember, Psychic Embrace does have a downside. When you use it to attach to a Pokemon, you have to put 2 extra damage counters on the Pokemon. Ooh, okay. That's more than a fair price to pay for the extra strategy, but in this League Battle Deck, you'll find that that isn't a price at all. Drifloon, while an unassuming Pokemon at first glance, is your main attacker in this deck. That's interesting. On its own, Balloon Blast doesn't do much. When combined with the damage counters you'll accumulate through Psychic Embrace, it quickly begins to add up. Throw in a Bravery Charm, which will increase Drifloon's HP and its damage potential, and you'll find... which will increase Drifloon's HP and its damage potential, and you'll find yourself knocking out high HP Pokemon EX with ease. Remember that you can always attach more energy than you need for your attacks, which is key to doing lots of damage with this strategy. Gardevoir EX, if Gardevoir EX is the backbone of the strategy, then Kirlia is a necessary vertebrae. Vertebrae, that's a funny usage of that word there. Kirlia's Refinement ability plays double duty here. First, lets you get Psychic Energies in your discard pile, so you can attach them with Gardevoir EX's Psychic Embrace. Second, it draws you 2 for every 1 you discard, but you get 2 for every 1? That's good. Which is a huge consistency boost when playing this deck. You want to focus on setting up as many Kirlia as you can in the early game, so you can use Refinement as much as possible. Unlike many other decks in Pokemon TCG, in this deck can be very advantageous to have a single Gardevoir EX with multiple Kirlia in play. Psychic Embrace can be used as many times as you'd like, whereas Refinement can only be used once per turn for each Kirlia in play. Keep in mind you can discard any card with Kirlia, not just Psychic Energy, so it's vital to keep track of which cards are important and which you can freely discard. Another piece of the strategy of this League deck is a powerful and disruptive supporter card, Iono. I know this card is like a top tier card. I know it's played in a lot of decks. Not only does Iono allow you to refresh your hand at times when you need to dig through your deck in order to win, but she also puts your opponent's hand on the bottom of their deck and can greatly reduce their hand size, particularly in the late game. With all the low HP Pokemon including this deck, such as Ralts and Drifloon, it can be pretty easy to fall behind on prize cards early in the game while you're setting up. Iono is great at helping turn the momentum your way so you can take over. This Gardevoir EX deck presents you with a wealth of options and a ton of powerful effects. It may take a few games to get the hang of how these cards interact with each other, but when you do, you'll discover just how devastating this can be for any opponent. Oh, and how to upgrade. After a couple of games of your League Battle deck, you'll be able to improve and personalize it. Because the deck must have exactly 60 cards, you'll have to make some room for some new cards or removing others. So it's saying to add... Let's see, to add Buddy Poffin, which is search your deck for up to 2 basic Pokemon with 70 HP and put them in your bench to shuffle your deck. That sounds really good, holy shit. Yeah, that's to get Ralts into play. That makes sense. The other one is Tulip, which says put up to 4 in any combination of Psychic Pokemon and Basic Energy from your discard pile into your hand. That's another pretty obvious inclusion. Prime Catcher, switch one of your opponent's bench Pokemon to the active spot. If you do, switch your active Pokemon with one of your bench Pokemon. That's really good. Okay. Alright, so yeah, I'm glad we read that first. A nice little overview of how the strategy works before we actually read the cards, so... There's my code card, so I'll be able to redeem that later. This is the deck box, I presume. Oh, and the cards are actually in it. That's fun. And this is the... What is this? Oh, are these more of the counters and stuff? I think it said it comes with, like, a counter storage. How does this open? I don't want to, like, tear it. Oh, here we go. There we are. Oh, look at these! Oh, that's a cool looking die. Hang on. Yeah, when I played the Pokemon TCG, you would get like a cardboard stamp cutout that would give you stuff like this and like cardboard damage counters. But now they give you like actual physical damage die. That's cool. And look at that D6. Oh, that's not the camera. This is the camera. Look at that D6. That looks really nice. Nice and sparkly. I like that. I'm probably going to use that. I mean, obviously I'm going to use all this stuff, but I might use that for, like, other games. Alright, so... plastic out of here. Let's see. How does this open? Again, I don't want to, like, tear it and tear any of the cards here. Oh, here we go. I see. There. Alright, so there is the namesake of our deck. 3 Gardevoir EX. Wow, that's a very beautiful looking card. Look at the foiling on that. I don't know if all of the versions look like this or if that's just like, you know, from this deck, but that's very pretty. Alright, so Gardevoir EX, 310 HP. That's a lot. I mean, obviously power creep since the last time I've played, but still, dang, numbers do be getting bigger. Ability Psychic Embrace. As often as you'd like during your turn, you may attach a basic Psychic Energy card from your discard pile to one of your Psychic Pokemon. If you attach energy to a Pokemon in this way, put 2 damage counters on the Pokemon. You can't use this ability when a Pokemon would be knocked out. Wow, as often as you like. That's pretty good. So it's not even just like a once per turn, move as many as you want. You can just like... You can move energy and then do other stuff and then move more energy, so that's pretty cool. Then Miracle Force is Psychic, and Colorless for 190. This Pokemon recovers from all special conditions. So, yeah, you're mainly looking to use it for the ability there. That definitely makes sense. Well, the attack seems like it might be decent, too. And then what are these other cards here? Alright, we got a Mew EX, which says it's got 180 HP, ability Restart. Once per turn, you may draw cards until you have 3 cards in your hand. That's pretty good. Genome Hacking, 3 colorless. Choose one of your opponent's active Pokemon attacks and use it as this attack. So one thing I do kind of know about the Pokemon TCG is that a lot of the times, like, even as cards like have different iterations and different versions and different formats, they generally tend to do the same thing a lot of the time. So like Gardevoir, for example, I know this isn't the first Gardevoir which has an ability to like move psychic energy around. And I know there have been other Mews that can use your opponent's Pokemon's attacks, because, you know, Mew has like the DNA of everything, right? So, and has like Transform as an ability. So that's pretty cool. Alright, what else do we have here? Luminion V, 170 HP. Ability Luminous Sign. When you play this Pokemon from your hand onto your bench during your turn, you may search your deck for a supporter card, reveal it, and put it into your hand, then shuffle your deck. Seems like a very good ability. Aqua Return, Water Colorless does 120. Shuffle this Pokemon and all attached cards to it back into the deck. So I think we're definitely mainly using this for its ability, not the attack. And then Radiant Greninja. It's a basic with 130 HP. You can have more than one Radiant Pokemon in your deck. Oh, wow. Okay, so that's our one of right there. That's the Radiant Pokemon rule. It says it right there. Again, I could try holding these a little bit closer, but I also know, again, I don't think my... I just need to play with the focus on this camera again. I'm so sorry, I'm still very new to this, but that's a really cool foiling effect. You can see the diamonds moving there. Ability, Concealed Cards. You must discard an energy card from your hand in order to use this ability. Once per turn, you may draw 2 cards. Okay, so that definitely makes sense. Moonlight Shuriken. Water, colorless. Discard 2 energy from this Pokemon. This attack does 90 damage to 2 of your opponent's Pokemon. Don't apply weakness or resistance. Alright, so those are our fancy cards. What else do we have here in the Z deck box? These you might be able to see a little more easily because there's not the foiling glare, but I also, again, know the focus isn't the best here. Oh god, it's so bad. Oh, I need to mess with that. Okay, anyway. So we have a couple of Drifloon. Only a couple? No, okay, there's 3 here. So this was the main attacker of the deck they were talking about. 70 HP, Gust just does 10 damage for 2 colorless. Balloon Blast, however, 2 psychic. This attack does 30 damage times, so 30 for each damage counter on this Pokemon. So that's what they're talking. That makes a lot of sense. So yeah, Gardevoir EX puts the energy on, puts the damage counters on. I mean, if you even just use this ability to move the 2 onto here that you need, that's 4 damage counters, so that's 120. Just swing it in casually for 120 right off the bat. Yeah, wow, that's actually pretty good. That's really good. Definitely can understand how this works now. Okay, so Iono, got a full playset of that, 4 cards. Iono says, each player shuffles their hand and puts it on bottom of their deck. If either player put any of the cards on bottom of their deck this way, each player draws a card for each of their remaining prizes. So this is what they were talking about before, of how if your opponent's ahead, you can use Iono, force them to get rid of their hand, which is probably cards they want, make them draw a new, smaller hand. So that's kind of like it's both a consistency and a catch-up tool, which makes a lot of sense and is cool. Professor's Research, pretty simple, discard your hand, draw 7. Supporters are once per turn, by the way, for people who don't play Pokemon. Also, a lot of supporter cards, I want to point that out because a lot of supporter cards sound like crazy OP. Like, even if it's only a card you can do, I mean, Yu-Gi-Oh! You do everything hard once per turn pretty much, but like, Yu-Gi-Oh! Players would kill for a spell that's like hard once per turn, discard your hand, draw 7. But Pokemon is just a game that is paced much differently. It's cool. Got a couple of Arven. This supporter says, search your deck for an item card and a Pokemon tool card, reveal them and put them in your hand, then shuffle your deck. That's pretty cool. Boss's Orders says, switch in one of your opponent's bench Pokemon to the active spot. So that's kind of like Pokemon Catcher, which is a staple card from back when I played. And then it recommended playing, what is it, in one of the guides here, Super Pokemon Catcher, which is that, but then you get to switch too. Okay. Jacques? Only got one of here. Search your deck for up to 2 evolution Pokemon, reveal them, and put them in your hand. Artisan. It's a stadium card, so it's kind of like field spells. Once during each player's turn, that player may search their deck for a basic Pokemon that doesn't have a rule box and put it into their bench. Then that player shuffles their deck. Pokemon EX, V, etc. have rule boxes. So yeah, rule box is the thing that says, yep, down here, the EX rule that you take 2 prize cards. V rule also says you take 2 prize cards. Radiant Greninja has a rule box that says you can only have 1 in your deck. So, you know, these have rule boxes. Same with the Gardevoir EX. So those are off limits. But our Drifloons are just regular old Pokemon. No rule boxes on them. So looks like we can just search those. That's a once per turn too. That's cool. Full playset of 4 Nest Ball. Trainers. So trainers, unlike trainers in like words brain. So supporters are once per turn, but regular trainers like item cards, you can do these more than once per turn. So Nest Ball is search your Pokemon for a basic, or search your deck for a basic Pokemon, put it in your bench, and then shuffle your deck. Again, we really like searching up the Drifloon here, so that makes sense. Ultra Ball, I remember this one. This is just discard 2 and search any Pokemon, right? Can only discard if you discard 2 cards from your hand. Search your deck for Pokemon, reveal it, put it into your hand. Yep. Alright, Rare Candy. This is the one that lets you skip stage 2 for evolution, so we can go straight from routes into Gardevoir with this one. Got 1 copy of Super Rod. Shuffle up to 3 and any combination of Pokemon basic energies from your discard pile into your deck. So yeah, this card would definitely get cut for the one that just adds psychic energy and Pokemon from grave to hand, right? I have to imagine that's just a better version of this in this deck. Alright, they're talking about the Bravery Charm. Basic Pokemon this card attached gets plus 50 HP. This is what is going to give our Drifloons some extra HP in order to get more use out of their Balloon Blast ability. Here's our energies. I noticed this when I was reading the back of the box, that it's only Psychics, despite the fact that we do play 2 Waters. So these 2 Water Pokemon, the Luminia and the Radiant Greninja, we are not trying to attack with these, which makes sense because their attacks themselves are not like super great. This is 120, but then you have to shuffle everything under it back into your deck. This just does 90 to 2 things, which is not bad because it can hit bench Pokemon, but not also like the best. So I guess it seems like a fine ability. But again, we're using these 2 water types, it looks like mostly for their abilities. So hence why we have only basic psychic energy. Which again, does make sense. Also, you know, 13 might seem like a low amount for a 60 card deck, but, you know, Pokemon's a very consistent game with all the drawing and stuff. And here's the rest of our Pokemon. We got a full playset of Kirlia with that refinement ability they were talking about. You must discard a card from your hand in order to use this ability. Once per turn, you may draw 2 cards. That's pretty cool. Obviously quite good. Ralts. I really like this Ralts art. That's good. Memory Skip. 10 damage. Choose one of your opponent's active Pokemon's attacks during your opponent's next turn. That Pokemon can't use that attack. That's not awful. I mean, you're not going to like probably try to be using that, but it's not nothing. And Cresselia. One of Cresselia is our final card. Moonglow Reverse. For 1 psychic energy, move 2 damage counters from each of your Pokemon to one of your opponent's Pokemon. That's obviously pretty insane with the Gardevoir stacking the damage counters there. So there we go. Yeah, I just kind of wanted to make a for fun unboxing video for this. I don't have like, again, while I am definitely going all in on Alestrals right now, I don't have like as concrete plans to do that with the Pokemon TCG. However, I did get that here, let me see, make sure I don't show the code here, although I'll probably redeem this before it goes up. I did get the Pokemon Live, you know, redeem your rewards card here. So again, you might actually see me playing the official TCG sim at some point in this channel too. But yeah, that was fun. I very much enjoyed opening this. So again, shout out to Shiggies for, I guess, kind of inspiring me to do the same. And yeah, I'll catch you next time. See you later, folks. Bye.